You are listening to Uranium Spotlight on Tuesday, May 28, 2024. Brought to you by PurePoint Uranium Group, your exploration partner in Canada's Athabasca Basin. PurePoint has commenced a 5,000-meter drill program at Turner Lake, a project surrounded by extensive exploration from industry leaders and on trend with the highest uranium-grade deposit in the world. And now your host, Chris Frostad.
This week on Uranium Spotlight, we look at the repercussions of the U.S.'s Russian ban on uranium, the IAEA's nuclear security concerns, and Cameco's latest financing. Last week, the uranium spot price rose by 75 cents to close the week at $91.75 per pound U3O8. The long-term price for May was also released yesterday, posting a rise of $2 and closing the month at $77 per pound U3O8. Next week, we'll provide a more fulsome review of the market activities for the full month of May. Last week's primary news stories revolved around the repercussions of the U.S. ban on Russian uranium and its implications for uranium prices and the nuclear fuel cycle. Here's a breakdown of those key developments. First, while the ban presents challenges, most utilities have substantial stockpiles of nuclear fuel. This means that despite potential difficulties in securing new supply sources, there's a buffer period before reactors face fuel shortages necessitating shutdowns. However, the U.S. faces a concerning shortfall in domestic uranium production. The recent report from the United States Energy Information Agency highlights a stark drop in production to just 50,000 pounds in 2023, a fraction of the approximately 40 million pounds required annually to fuel U.S. reactors. Although some mothballed mines have been reactivated in response to soaring uranium prices, their output remains insufficient. Even if all such mines were operational, they would only meet about half of the nation's demand, with many planned mines facing significant lead times and uncertainties. To address the ban's impact, the United States Department of Energy introduced a waiver process for utilities. These waivers aim to sustain the U.S. reactor fleet by allowing imports under specific conditions. Originally, proof of significantly higher non-Russian uranium prices was deemed necessary. However, the focus has shifted to ensuring deals with non-Russian suppliers are fair relative to market conditions. Waivers will be granted based on national security concerns, including the need to support critical companies in the nuclear fuel cycle or supply fabricated fuel to key allies like Japan and Mexico. Notably, 10X, a major Russian supplier, issued a force majeure notice indicating that without waivers, they may halt service unless customers provide financial guarantees. Kazakhstan, a significant uranium producer, is indirectly affected by the ban due to its ties with Russia. While not explicitly mentioned in the ban, Kazakhstan supplies uranium concentrate to Russia, which in turn enriches and exports fuel. However, increasing quantities of uranium are now bypassing Russia, with Kazakhstan directly supplying the West, notably the United States, through Azerbaijan. Despite these shifts, Kazakhstan remains pivotal in global uranium supply, boasting vast reserves and substantial production capacity. Nevertheless, the U.S. faces mounting challenges in acquiring uranium amid efforts to expand its reactor fleet to meet rising demand, driven by factors such as electrification, climate change, and the need for reliable low-carbon energy. The ban on Russian uranium exacerbates existing supply constraints, propelling uranium prices upwards. As demand surges amidst a tight market, prices are poised to surpass $100 per pound, underscoring the growing significance of nuclear power in meeting evolving energy needs. At the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, meeting last week, representatives from over 130 countries convened to bolster nuclear security measures. The aim is to mitigate the risk of nuclear terrorism and other malevolent actions amidst emerging threats. During the opening session of the International Conference on Nuclear Security, held every 4 years, the co-presidents released a joint statement emphasizing the necessity of robust security measures to safeguard nuclear and radioactive materials, as well as facilities against theft and sabotage. The statement, endorsed by the Assistant Minister for Foreign Affairs of Australia and the Vice Minister of Energy of Kazakhstan, underscores the challenges and opportunities presented by emerging technologies like artificial intelligence in nuclear security. It reaffirms that effective nuclear security not only ensures the safe use of nuclear technology, but also bolsters public trust in their peaceful applications, ranging from clean energy generation to medical treatments such as cancer, radiotherapy, and agricultural advancements through irradiation. Nuclear security, being a national imperative, entails thwarting, detecting, and responding to threats involving nuclear or radioactive materials and associated facilities. With the proliferation of digital technologies, there's a pressing need for vigilance against cyber threats and vulnerabilities. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi stressed the critical importance of a robust global nuclear security regime to prevent malevolent actors from exploiting nuclear materials for destructive purposes. The joint statement aligns with broader objectives of nuclear nonproliferation, disarmament, and peaceful use of nuclear energy, recognizing that nuclear security is integral to international peace and safety. Cameco Corp has priced a private placement of senior unsecured debentures totaling $500 million at 4.94% interest, maturing on May 24, 2031. The offering closed last week on May 24, 2024. The company plans to utilize the net proceeds to retire all outstanding 4.19% senior unsecured debentures, Series G, by or before the maturity date of June 24, 2024. Grant Isaac, Cameco's Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, stated, "Our capital allocation decisions prioritize financial flexibility to execute our strategy. With a strong market demand for secure and carbon-free nuclear energy generation, Cameco is poised for disciplined and sustainable growth while managing risk. The Series 1 debentures, being direct and unsecured obligations, will rank equally with all other unsecured and unsubordinated indebtedness. They are offered on a private placement basis in Canada through exemptions from prospectus requirements. The offering is being led by a syndicate of agents including TD Securities Inc., RBC Capital Markets, and Scotiabank." And that wraps up your Uranium Spotlight coverage for this week. For more news and events from the world of uranium, please tune in next week to Uranium Spotlight.
You've been listening to Uranium Spotlight, your weekly podcast dedicated to delivering the latest news and events shaping the uranium fuel market and its critical role in the global energy landscape. Brought to you by PurePoint Uranium Group. PurePoint actively operates a portfolio of advanced uranium projects in the world's richest uranium district and has established partnerships with some of the largest uranium suppliers worldwide. While our passion for this subject is undeniable, it's essential to clarify that the information presented here is not investment advice. Instead, our goal is to offer an unbiased and comprehensive review of recent events that could impact uranium prices. Join us again next Tuesday for Uranium Spotlight.